this is why I think this conversation is so interesting and so important, because 1/3 of all of us deal with hearing loss that affects our relationships, our daily life. It really affects how we feel and how we live. Thanks so much for joining us today on Second Act TV. I'm so happy to welcome Joni Caldwell Lerner back to Second Act. Joni, thanks so much for joining me again.
Oh, absolutely. We always have fun.
We do, and we have a conversation today a very important conversation that I really wanted to bring you in on, because it's something that at this stage in life we're both dealing with. You live with someone who is going through what I'm going through, where, we want to live the best life, which is what you help people do. Joni, of course, is a transformation specialist. She's a life coach. She has a podcast, Spiritual Aliveness with Joni. This is what you do. You help people live their best life. And one of the things that is affecting so many of us at this stage is hearing loss, dealing with hearing loss. Just a little bit of background, I was approached by a company, that's how this came up and how I started doing more research about evaluating their hearing aid device. And at first, I'm kind of laughing, oh yeah, sure, give me the hearing aids. And then I thought, well, why am I reacting like this? Because quite frankly, I have hearing loss. My doctor confirmed it's nothing. I have mild, it's nothing debilitating that I know so many people are dealing with. But this is why I think this conversation is so interesting and so important, because 1/3 of all of us, according to stats, deal with hearing loss that affects our relationships, our daily life. It really affects how we feel and how we live. Why are we like that? Why do we think of hearing loss as a stigma still?
One is vanity. So, of course, we like to look our best. We don't want to look old. We're fighting this age thing because in this society, let's face it, we're not honored as wisdom keepers. We are marginalized as we get older. And maybe it's also some shame around it. Like we're not perfect anymore. We're not valuable to people anymore. It's complete bull, by the way. There are so many amazing solutions today. It's not like you have to wear a giant, helmet or something people can see now. There are so many, technological advances and whatnot.
Exactly. And that's like the one of the biggest objections is appearance, that you think you look old, which is really interesting because you don't really even see the hearing aid. Like for right now, I actually have one in.
That's amazing. I would never have known.
And yeah, it really doesn't affect your appearance. It's more of a psychological state of mind. Like glasses, maybe 40 years ago, glasses made it appear as though you had some sort of disability. Now it's a fashion statement.
If you think about the glasses, which I love that you brought that up, I remember going to an ophthalmologist. And he said, go to the window, look out. I did. He said, now put your glasses on, because I just got them in. And suddenly it was like the bug's life, I could see all the leaves and all the things happening. And so I think that's what it would be like to get the hearing aid. You don't realize, here's what I also wanted to say. We don't realize because it's gradual that it's happening, number one. Or number two, we deny it. We're in denial about it. And then the people in our lives can become codependent. They can enable us by speaking loudly, yelling at us, repeating themselves, and they get frustrated and then they get resentful. So it's this whole, you were talking about relationships, right? It affects the relationships and the people around us.
Yeah. Well, and that's what was so interesting once I started reading about it and really it never occurred to me how it affects relationships. I'm starting to notice it a little bit. For me, it's mostly TV and restaurants. I haven't been to where but there actually are certain restaurants I don't want to go to because of the noise. You can't carry a conversation. I can hear somebody across the room, but not the person I'm talking with. And TV, I am constantly asking my boyfriend, "Hey, Paul, can you turn it up?" And now he's like automatically doing it, but it's it's annoying. It's annoying, but it's not at a level to where I would, consider getting a hearing aid if for no other reason than the cost. And that's why I was really excited that there's companies like Nano out there now who are bringing this wireless technology at a fraction of the cost.
Right, right. Because it used to be like $5,000 or $8,000. I mean, very prohibitive. That's another consideration for people.
No, exactly. And you don't even have to go to a doctor. Now, depending on, the state of how bad it is, that maybe you want to, maybe you don't. But you literally can order these, and then it's wireless, on your phone. There's an app that you connect to like we do with everything else. You do a hearing test. You choose a sound environment. Like for me, there's I think there's TV, there's conversation, there's outdoor, and something else. But you adjust for that. It's just really super cool. So I felt like, okay, we can have this conversation,
right,
talk about hearing loss, and actually have a solution to offer where, I there's no way I would get regular hearing aids right now for $5,000, and that's I think where people's head is.
I do want to say something about what you just said, which is really super important about the relationship and the people who are affected. It's not just the person with the hearing loss. They're having to repeat themselves. They're having to yell at them. They're having to listen, at 85 decibels to television and that kind of thing. And that's a codependency. So we, as the people who are in the relationship and have the person in our lives that have the hearing loss, need to have a conversation. Just say, hey, babe, have you thought maybe of having your hearing checked? Like, not from a place of, oh my God, stop already. It's like, I think it would enhance both of our lives, and you wouldn't have to keep turning up the volume. And it's so funny because they don't realize what they don't hear anymore.
Yeah. Well, if we're coming to the end of the segment, so if anything that we said today kind of resonates with what's going on in your life, just know that there are lots of solutions. We'll link to the specific product that we're talking about today, and just have it. It's normal, just like you brought up glasses earlier. Glasses are now a fashion statement. Maybe we can make hearing aids or devices a fashion statement. I mean, you have your little buds in your ear. We were stuffing our ears all the.
People walk around like that all day long.
We were stuff. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I do want to say one last thing.
Please.
We need to normalize aging. We've had so many segments on body image and weight and aging and skin, and it's just normal. This is part of the process of being human on the planet. Let's just stop, torturing ourselves already. Accept. It has to do with self-acceptance too. Just love yourself, for goodness sakes.
Exactly. Well, I'm excited that there's technology out there now, like everything else, that's making this easier for us. So Joni, thank you so much. I look forward to our next conversation on Second Act TV.
Absolutely. Bye. Thank you.
For more information about Nano Hearing Aids, please visit their website or call 480-336-9292.